Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, J23, and you are now tuned in to the latest, hottest show on Instagram Live. That is the Independent Scene, episode 118. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, for rocking with me. It is definitely appreciated. I hope you guys are getting in tuned every single week or learning something every single week. And we're definitely going to have a good time. We definitely got a dope artist in the building coming through, chopping it up with us. And we really, we're gonna dig deep. We're gonna get into some questions. We're gonna, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to ask me questions. Like I said, it's just gonna be a dope party. So, with that being said, like I said again, I want to welcome you guys to episode 118, the special edition of the Independent Scene with your boy, yours truly, J23. And we gonna tap right into. I'm gonna type this pen in real quick. And then we gonna, get this party started. Shouts out to Shy Shouters. Was good. And like I said, my guest is already in the building. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you. He is the homie. He is the bro. He is the dog, Phaze Gawd. Let's talk to him, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm about to make this pen. And then we're gonna bring him on in the building. I see you, bro. I'm about to bring you in right now. Let's get it.
Yo,
What's good, my guy?
what's poppin', baby? How you doing, sir?
Coolin', man. What about yourself?
Man, can't call it. Ready to get it going, man. I appreciate you having me on, sir.
Most definitely, man. Hey, it's always an honor and a pleasure to talk with new people and converse and shit like that. So
Most definitely.
I appreciate you for having the time to
Of course.
come on here and chop it up.
Absolutely, man. I'm happy to be here, man. I appreciate you.
Most definitely. All right, so first things first, man. Introduce yourself to the people. Let them know where you're calling from, all that good stuff, and we go tap right into it.
Absolutely. Let's get to it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Tony Peter Phaze Gawd, or aka Just Phaze Gawd. Look, PHAZEGAWD. Holla at me in Charlotte, North Carolina. Stand up. What's going on?
Most definitely. Shouts out to the 704.
Absolutely.
Good.
Shit. You already know.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? I got fam out there, so hey, shout out
Most
to the
deaf.
fam.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? All right, so first things first, I would like for you to let us know a little. I want you to give us an in-depth look on how you got into the music scene, how it started for you, and how it originated for you. Where did that all begin?
For sure. So to answer the question, how I got into the music scene, it's actually really crazy. Well, it's not really crazy, but it's really cool. I was with my group. I was kind of heading and leading a group called Phaze Gang. That was a bunch of me and my friends coming together. Shouts out Hadel, shouts out Brell Rhinestone. We was pretty thick back in the day, man. About 11 of us strong. So we were doing our music thing, getting out into the scene, and then I reached out to the homie Elder Beat Chemist, who goes by Fields now. We were working on some music and stuff. He was actually the Phaze Gang DJ, and he was like, well, he wasn't the DJ, he was a beat maker. He was like, yo, if you're looking for a DJ, you need to link up with this dude named Accent. Accent is another homie that actually DJs in the Carolinas. He was like, you need to get up with him. I got up with Accent. Accent's like, yo, you need to come through to the show called Good Stock. This is back in like 2014. So we're talking about 2014. He's like, yo, you got to come out to the show called Good Stock out there in North Charlotte. Shit's going to be crazy. I'm like, bet. I go out there and I get introduced to damn near the entire music scene of Charlotte, North Carolina, at least for my generation. Like I met a lot of cool artists. And then from there was able to tap in with a lot of different people. Shout out to Simon Something, Side Note, Rails Principal. I just met so many people that were out there doing their thing. They were already familiar with the scene and everything like that. So, I just tapped in, started getting to know the people, get to know the scene, and from there on, they just embraced me and the gang with open arms, and it's just been up from there.
Most definitely. Well, definitely shouts out to those individuals that definitely help pave your career, help you push you into the music success. Much, definitely much love to them.
Absolutely.
All right. So real quick, talk to us a little bit about your growing up and how you grew up, and were you more of a neutral kind of person? Was you more in your own lane, or was you just pretty much flowing with everybody? Talk to us a little bit how you grew up.
I mean, growing up, man. I mean, me and my little brother, we two-parent household. Dad worked. Dad's a musician, so dad always had music in and around the house. We grew up Jehovah's Witnesses, so we would go to like the Kingdom Hall and stuff like that. Really kind of strict religious upbringing. However, my people they never really restrained us from doing the stuff that we want to do. You know, we were able to go outside, play with kids. We still have birthdays. You know, we still were able to enjoy ourselves as kids. So I think that kind of gave us the idea that, yeah, we can follow rules just fine and still be able to have fun without, you know, getting into trouble. And I think that really kind of set the stage for us to be able to like really enjoy ourselves as kids and then grow up to be able to enjoy ourselves as men, because, you know, we were just cool kids growing up. We hung out with all the kids of different, you know, walks of life growing up. You know, we just hung out with black kids, white kids, didn't really matter. You know, we never really shied away from anybody growing up. You know, we just attracted, you know, different people. I attracted different people. You know, everybody always showed love. You know, we never really ran with any kind of crazy crowds, people that was into crazy shit. You know, we stayed to ourselves. We were definitely able to like reach out and, you know, just link up with people that had similar views and stuff like that. So I think growing up with that mentality definitely helped us maneuver a lot better, you know, as we grew up.
Most definitely, most definitely. Now you spoke a minute ago about being a Jehovah's
Yes.
Witnesses and things of that nature. Now let me ask you this question: how do you feel being a part of that as it relates to the Christianity aspect? Like, how do you feel like those two, in some regards, coexist, or does it coexist to you in your opinion?
Now ask that question one more time. So you're saying, how does being a Jehovah's Witness run into being a Christian? I just want to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, you know, for those who don't really know, I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, it's Christianity, you know, in a certain sect. You know, there are certain aspects that aren't the same as all churches. You know, there's not the whole, you know, Jesus died on the cross. Blood is considered sacred, you know, to the Bible. You know, we read the Bible and stuff like that. You know, it's just a lot of small differences, but it's still Christianity. So I mean, it's not too much different than, you know, your typical church setup. But as I've grown up and kind of really started exploring other options and just other ideas when it comes to religion, I've just been able to expand my mind and just kind of be appreciative of other religions and other beliefs that people have. Because I mean, it's billions of people on this world, man. We all don't believe in the same thing. I think that's really the beauty of it, is that we all have different, you know, views and aspects. And, you know, when it's not a negative outlook, you know, it doesn't always have to be positive, but, you know, as long as there's a certain understanding, I think there's always, you know, a threshold that we can come together and really kind of just link up. So I think that's something that, growing up with, you know, being a Jehovah's Witness and then just being able to explore other ideas and stuff like that, is always kind of giving me a different perspective on stuff like that as far as
Most
religion.
Most definitely. Well, I definitely appreciate you for elaborating on that.
No doubt.
Now, real quickly, with you being an artist and being who you are, who do you feel right now has truly blown up in the music scene and in the music field? Who do you feel like has really got that stamp of saying like, yo, they're hot. They're number one right now on the charts. Who do you feel right now has really blown up?
That's really blown up. I mean, what I guess whoever the top 100 artists are, or the top, whoever the number one artist, I don't know. Is it still the baby that's been running up the charts and stuff like that? I don't know. I honestly have not been paying attention to who's been like number one, because I feel like, as you know, I think with the coronavirus, it's kind of showed us that, you know, that really is just a title, you know,
Right.
and there's that it's a title that can be what's what I'm looking for. It can be swayed with, you know, with the right palms greased or the right conversations had. So you look at a list of people and say, oh, this person's number one. And you know, it's really subjective at this point. If you had asked me who I think somebody that's really blowing up, doing numbers, and like really kind of doing it the right way, I mean, honestly, probably the youngest guy will come. It's probably like Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch, I think, is really talented. As far as like how he utilizes his voice, his lyrics are solid. His ear for production is really nice. I actually really didn't like Roddy when I first heard him, but then I saw the growth in his sound, so I was able to appreciate him more. Artists that I really enjoy listening to, that I feel should be number one, I'm really into artists like, you know, Travis Scott's probably one of my favorite artists. That's one of the artists that, if you told me who's like number one, he's one of the guys I'm kind of putting up in the upper echelon of, like, you know, of artistry, not so much for his lyricism, but as far as being like an actual entertainer and music artist. I'm big on entertainment, as
Mm-hmm.
music is entertainment. So if you can't entertain me consistently, you fall lower on that list. But Travis Scott, everything he drops is dope. Damn near everything he drops is dope. His performances are insane. I love watching that man perform live. And, you know, he's just all around good dude. So just being able to see him, you know, it really kind of gives me an idea of what like a great artist is for me.
Most definitely. Well, definitely shouts out, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out. All right, so how do you feel like your career has shaped you into being the artist that you are today? And how do you feel like it's coexisted with coming from where you come from up until this point?
For sure. My artistry has really shifted me only because I pride myself on variety and being able to, you know, have variance in my sound. So I'm always kind of listening for music, listening to different things that I could like put into the music to kind of switch it up a little bit. And I think that's kind of given me the basis to really like appreciate other songs, like other genres of music, you know, like R&B, being able to appreciate pop, you know, smooth jazz, lo-fi hip hop, you know, punk rock, all that stuff really kind of comes from the core of just like, you know, of just energy and being able to utilize that energy to get across feelings. And the music as a whole just does that. So it really gives me much more appreciation for music, being able to do music, because I want to try different sounds. You know, as I grew up, as I started really doing music and listening and changing my sound, I'm like, damn, like there are so many ways I could take this music. I could do some shit like DaBaby. I could do some shit like Travis Scott. I could do some shit like Kanye West. Like the people, I think people have it wrong. The industry always tells you, hey, you know, find your sound, stick to that sound, and you know, that's the only way you'll maintain an audience. But I'm like, nah, man, if you're able to really utilize sound the way you need to, you can create different sounds and make it your own and still have a variety of different, you know, sounds. So that's really how it shaped me as an artist, just being able to appreciate different sounds, bringing it all together in a unique way so that people can enjoy it in its mind and it's not copying anybody else.
Most definitely, most definitely. I definitely respect you for that. Most definitely.
Appreciate it.
All right, so let me ask you this question. So when it comes to, and I'm pretty sure you follow, I'm pretty sure you've been following just as well as everybody else. But you know, we have the great, you know, Timberland Swiss Beat, who has put together this battle entitled Versus. And you know, we've had so many dope battles along the way. Last night we just recently had the duo of Brandy versus Monica, you know, go down in history as one of the biggest, dopest battles in the game. So I got to know from you, what's been your favorite battle known to date, and who do you see next stepping into the ring?
As far as like the Versus series or just in general?
With Versus series,
the Versus series? Ah, man, I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I haven't peeped a lot of them. I've seen like highlights of most of them. I think one that I did see a highlight for that I really enjoyed was the DMX and Snoop Dogg. Versus. DMX is probably one of my favorite rappers. You know, again, same reason. He's just one of those guys that's able to just entertain you, and you know his aggression. All his songs just kind of hit hard for no fucking reason, and it's just like that's one of the guys that I really grew up kind of, you know, looking at. Like when I was looking at my music, I was like, damn, I want to make music like kind of like DMX. So that was just a plus. And then Snoop Dogg is just the OG. He's always going to be, you know, Snoop Dogg. So you can never take that from him. But I would probably say that's been the best one that I've seen. But I've heard there's been some really good ones. So I really need to kind of catch up and look at some of the other ones for sure. Who do I think is next? I don't know, man. They've hit a lot of like heavy hitters. I can't think of anybody in per se that I'm really like gung-ho to see. I do want to see, I think T.I. and 50 would have been a really good one. I think T.I. and 50 would have been a really good one. I think, I don't think Nelly hasn't done one yet, has he?
Yeah, he did one with Ludacris, yeah.
That was him. Okay, I was like, damn, Nelly and Ludacris. I think that's actually another one I did see, and I did enjoy that one too. I mean, they've just got people with just so many hits on there, so you really get to appreciate them again. But yeah, I think that T.I. and 50 Cent one was gonna be crazy. I don't know if they're still playing it or what, but I think that would be the next big one, because a lot of people were initially saying 50, and I think there's a lot of like people up north that was like, oh no, 50 taking T.I. out. But I think when you really look at it, maybe from a southern nigga, you know, Tip was holding the reins for a while in the South and worldwide too. So I think when people really start understanding and really going back and listening to Tip, I'm like, it's a closer match than they wanted to give it. So I think, yeah, T.I. and 50, I think was the next best one for sure.
Most definitely, most definitely. All right. Well, and again, I appreciate you wholeheartedly for being open and honest and speaking on that. All right. So now I want to kind of switch gears, and and what I'm gonna, and what I usually do also, I kind of flow, I kind of freestyle this as I'm doing, and I'm going with
Absolutely.
the flow. So just so you
Let's do
know.
it.
All right. So my next thing I want to kind of sidebar go into for a second, with this whole pandemic situation, man,
Hmm.
like, this pandemic has basically done the best to us all. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's really put a lot of artists at a standstill. But for you, what's that process been like, having to, in a sense, kind of sit back and take it all in and really continue to perfect more on your craft and do what you got to do to put out such great music and such dope music?
Absolutely. Honestly, well, first and foremost, I hope you've been safe during this pandemic, man. It's been crazy. Make sure you wash your hands, wear your mask, wash your ass, all that stuff. But as far as what I've been doing, kind of taking it all in, honestly, man, I've been working. Like, there hasn't really been a skip in my like routine at all. It's definitely, the world has definitely changed, so I've had to like kind of come to terms with the fact that we probably will have to always have a mask around just to be safe, hand sanitizers, all that stuff. We're going to have to take much better care of ourselves when it comes to health, and kind of really understanding, well, shit, I really got to start taking care of myself. So that's really been on my mind lately. So I'm looking at working out more, eating better, making sure that I'm really taking care of my health, and as well as everybody else should. But as far as the music, same thing, man. I've just kept steady with it. Always writing, always. I'm working on producing a lot more. I'm working on mixing and mastering. I actually had to end up mixing and mastering. I've never mixed and mastered any of my music before until my latest project that I've dropped, Ayo Phaze Gawd. I had to really start sitting down and learn how to mix and master my own music. So really kind of giving myself that time to sit down in front of a computer, getting all the programs I need, getting all the equipment I need to really start learning. That's just the next steps in being a better artist. So yeah, that's really just how I've spent time, just kind of learning, growing, and finding out ways to keep the dream alive. If that makes sense.
Most definitely, it definitely makes sense. All right, so now let me ask you this question. So when it comes to, you have all this East Coast, West Coast, North Side, South Side, the whole 9 yards, genre of music. You got California, you got Atlanta, you got New York, you got Miami, you got all these major cities, putting out this dope music. But what I want to know, what city what city for you, or no, what state should I say, do you feel like right now has really also been, laying down that foundation and really putting in that work?
Uh, well, I'm gonna say city. I know you said state. I guess I'll say the state too, but really it's been the city, Chicago.
Okay.
Chicago has Chicago does not get enough credit for really kind of building the sound that's out now. Because first and foremost, Chicago has always had live instrumentation in their music. They've always had that next level of music when it comes to like production wise. You look at artists like Kanye West, Chance the Rapper, Mick Jenkins. All these guys utilize some type of live instrumentation in their music, and it just gives it a whole nother level when you listen to it. So that's first and foremost, and then you add in the mix of these drill rappers, Chief Keef, Lil Reese, Lil Durk, all these drill rappers who are bringing that heavy drill sound, that those really uber violent lyrics and shit like that. That really set the stage for a lot of, I think, the trap production that we're hearing now. But honestly, I think the mix of that culture in Chicago is the main reason why I really kind of put them ahead of others, because a lot of these other cities and states are, I don't want to say they're one dimensional, but you can tell oh, that's California, that's Texas, that's they can always tell a sound. But Chicago, they have a variety of sounds that are Chicago sounds. So I definitely got to give it to Chicago. Absolutely.
Most definitely, definitely shouts out to Chicago. I'm saying, the home of President Barack Obama.
There you go. We
I'm
need him
saying?
back. We need him for a third term.
Most definitely, most definitely. All right, well, I definitely again appreciate that. All right, so let me ask you this question. So when it comes to all of these talented young and up and coming artists coming up in the game, chasing their dreams, chasing the bag, what advice do you have as an artist to get to these young up and coming artists that may not know what it is that they got to look forward to when stepping into this industry?
Absolutely. For the younger guys, anybody really getting into music, first and foremost, can I answer Community Records Inc? They want to know if I got any music out. Can I answer them right quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Awesome. Community Records Inc. Again, my name is Phaze Gawd. I do have music out. I just dropped a brand new project, Ayo Phaze Gawd, that's out on all streaming sites. Make sure you check that out. We can talk a little bit more about that later if that's cool with you, Jay. But yes, to answer your question and give out advice, artists, first and foremost, I'm still growing myself. I'm still doing a lot of learning. I'm still trying to get a lot of stuff figured out. But I do feel like there is a certain way to move where you don't get screwed out of a lot of stuff and you're not wasting a lot of your time and time with other people. And honestly, man, that is really getting out there. That's really getting out there and getting your face in front of people and talking with people like you got some sense. And I mean that as in, like, you don't get into a lot of people's faces. Hey, you need to put me on, da da da. I got this, I got that. They're like, nah, man. There's a way these people want to be talked to. There's a way you need to learn how to talk to people, because what'll happen is you always want to make sure that your first impression is the best impression, right? So if you're coming through rah 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 and with no real business about you, you're more likely to get taken advantage of because you're all about the hype of it. But if you really kind of sit back and think, hey, let me think about it. Is this the right move for me? How can I bring some what's the word? How can I bring some worth to you so that you can put me on to other situations? That's what I've always done with people, whether it be DJs, whether it be other artists. I always let them know, hey, I'm an artist. I do my own stuff. I have things to offer. You don't have to spend any money, any time, anything. You don't have to waste anything on me. I can have a lot of stuff to offer where we can both do more than break even. See what I'm saying? So you always want to, I think that's the biggest thing, is that you never want to come empty handed to anything. You always want to make sure that you have something to offer, and you want to make sure that, you just want to make sure that you have something to offer and that you kind of know what you want, and make sure that it's that even trade, because you don't want to ask more than what you have to offer. Then people look at you like, oh no, this nigga got me doing all the work. And then you don't want to offer more than somebody else is willing to offer, because then you giving them all the work. So it's all about balance. It's all about balance, kind of understanding yourself as an artist, and then just growing from there. But you have to have some sort of business mind about you to at least be able to talk to people, to get in certain situations where not having that skill couldn't get you. So if that makes sense.
Most definitely. It definitely makes sense. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because, that's definitely what's important for sure. All right. So now, real quickly, talk to us a little bit about how do you feel like the industry of music has changed from, because when you think about it, and when I say change, I'm talking, we had such eras like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. You had the 2000s, you had the 2010s. But what I want to know from you as an artist, how do you feel like that has shifted from then up into music now? How do you feel like that, has any coexistence at all, to it?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that the idea of record label is no longer holds the same weight as it did back then. You needed a record label. Definitely in the early, like, you needed somebody with some money behind you to get your music anywhere. And that was, from the 60s, from the beginning where music was being sold, all the way up until early 2000s, before the internet started hitting. You had to have some type of label or some type of backer to help you get your music out there physically, because all you had was physicals. All you could do was print CDs and give it to the people, sell it to people, do all that stuff. But now you start talking about the internet age. What's that? 2000, at the earliest, maybe 2008. Soulja Boy. That might be actually 2006 actually.
Right,
if I remember correctly. But now you're looking at the internet. So now I have, for the smart people that were early on, I have access to other people across the world. Now, instead of regional, local, all that stuff, I can start reaching people all over the world. And then you start adding social media. Now I don't even have to be in the same country as you. I can talk to somebody in Japan right now. It doesn't matter who. I can get online right now and talk to somebody in Japan. They would have no idea what I was saying, but I'm reaching out to somebody in Japan, Norway, Germany, all off my phone, all off my computer, right? So think about that kind of power with this music. You don't need a record label. You just need some time, maybe a little money that you can build up yourself, some ambition to learn how a lot of these metrics and algorithms work. man, look, you can be your own record label, and that's what a lot of people are doing. So now the idea of being signed and getting a record label deal, that's no longer the goal for a lot of artists anymore. Now it's, hey, I want to make music, I want to own my own music, I want to push my own music. The only thing I don't have is the money to do so, which is why the labels are still here, is because some people still want that access to money. But if you're smart, if you're working, if you're saving, you absolutely can run your own record label by yourself. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to do it by yourself. It's not easy, but it's a lot more advantageous for any artist looking to, grow and do their thing.
Most definitely, and I definitely, I definitely wholeheartedly feel you on that, and I definitely feel like that's really what's important at the end of the day. All right, so now let me ask you this: when it comes to social media, man, because social media has grown larger than life, man, and
Really?
and as they say, everything now is put on social media. But in regards to social media, how do you feel like social media has impacted the music industry and the music world to where now everybody is putting music all over social media? How do you feel about social media just as a whole, as it relates to music and things of that nature?
Absolutely. As it relates to music, it's a gift. It's a blessing and a curse, because it's a blessing because, again, now you as an artist have access to so many people, so many different just things to utilize to help your own career, right? But it's not just you. It's little Timmy from down the street who just started rapping yesterday and now wants to really start, putting out music, which is nothing wrong with that. But you have a lot of, it's giving rise to a lot of half-ass artists who do it, put it out, and then just kind of waste time. And I don't mean people that are just doing it for a hobby. I mean, they kind of do it and then they get into it and they kind of just take up space. You always kind of see artists like that because their sound is really unpolished, right?
Right.
You can kind of tell that they don't really take it serious. They rapping over their lyrics. They don't know their lyrics, so they have to rap over their lyrics. They done bought all the fucking bait and fucking Balenciagas they could afford on their last McDonald's check just for the show, and then give a shitty show. Put out music that is not mixed and mastered, does not sound good, but pushing it, buying the fake plays that make it look like they're reaching an audience when they're not. It's really the social media era has really diluted the music so much to where you really can't tell the difference between what's good, what's not, what's this, what's that. Their music will always be subjective. You'll always have somebody that might like that music, but it's really kind of diluted the sound to where the artists who are good, they might get pushed out because, again, little Timmy down the street dyed his hair rainbow color with a crazy grill, and now he's getting all the attention. Mm-hmm. He's making all the money. He's the face of rap. He's the face of hip hop now. And the other artists who really, really do this shit, put their heart and soul into the music, it's a little harder for us because now because you don't have that same marketability, because it's all about being marketable. You can rap as hard, you can rap as well as you want, but if you're not marketable, you can't make nobody no money. You can't make yourself no money. So
right.
You got to be somewhat marketable at some point in time, and that's how social media has, again, helped, is made people be able to market themselves, but now everybody can market themselves, so you just got to deal with everybody doing that. So it's like Miss Batty Bitch and Miss Mary Lay are saying, it's flooding the market. So it's crazy.
Most definitely. All right, so we got a question coming from Mary Lee 007. She said, she's asking everyone to share this. Most definitely share the live. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to continue to comment, like all that good stuff. We definitely appreciate it, Mary. So definitely feel free. All right, so my man down here said record labels can still help artists, especially independent labels. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, community records. I'm not saying that labels are bad. I'm saying that because any rapper will tell you, I want to get signed. Any rapper growing up, early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, I want to get signed. I have to get signed. I need to get signed to a record label, Atlantic, Def Jam, any of those big record labels, Sony. I need to get signed by some big label. That's not the case anymore. Like you said, there are record labels that are definitely out there to help you. They want to, they want to really promote artists, but a lot of these labels, especially the bigger ones, they're shiesty. All these labels,
Right.
all these artists talking out against these labels are shiesty. They've already made so much money off this community. They just want to keep making it until the suck dry. But that's the importance of having social media, building your own brand, and just creating your own thing. Because now again, you yourself can be your own label. Anybody
Right.
can be their own label. You bring that money back into yourself. It's just like owning your own business, except with music. So I mean, I'm never saying that. I'm not saying that all record labels are bad. I'm not saying record labels can't help you, but you don't necessarily need to have a record label. You don't need to be signed to a record label to really find success with doing music.
Most definitely. All right, so we got another question coming from Mary Lee. She says, what do you think gets the attention? What's marketable in everyone's opinion?
Honestly, in this day and age, if you ask me, well, you know what? No, I'll say it's kind of changing. The tides and the trends are starting to change. Earlier, of course, it was the antics. How many views can you get for doing crazy stuff on Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff? How crazy could you be out there? How wild could you be? How many eyes could you have on yourself? I think now we're starting to turn back. I think that's kind of ran its course. I think 6ix9ine has kind of deaded that for a lot of artists now. I think we're now switching back over to, okay, these niggas is really rapping. That's why people like Griselda, I'm about to say Conway Twitty, Conway, Benny the Butcher, all those Griselda guys, 38 Special, there are a lot of dope MCs really starting to make a comeback now, which is awesome to see. And they're really starting to like make some noise on a mainstream level, which hasn't been done in a good little while unless you were already a bigger artist. So
most definitely,
as far as what's trending now, what's trendy, I probably will say that it's still whatever antics you can do, however much you can stand out. A lot of it is negative antics, which is the issue with it. If there were more people getting on by way of being more positive, sure, but a lot of it is, how many people can we fuck with? How crazy can I look? How much disruption can I cause for other people? But I definitely see that changing the tide, because they're starting to see that that's actually, doing the crazy shit is more of a liability now than anything.
right.
Now I got to worry about you getting shot at every time you go somewhere. Nah, we got to start moving some shit back because you're losing money now. So.
Right, most definitely. All right, so real quickly, I'm gonna read you guys' comments. So you guys that's in the comments, bear with me, but I gotta ask this question. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years from now?
Ooh, 5 to 10 years. I remember back in the day, I used to say being president. I don't think I want to be president though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of cap now. But honestly, man, in 5 to 10 years, I would just love to be able to. Hopefully, the states have opened back up. We're back to being able to perform. I would love to just see myself just creating more music and just touring. Getting on the road, going to different cities, different states, different countries, just performing, meeting other artists. Because that's really what I love to do, man. I just love performing. And I think that's probably the next steps that I'm going to, is just being on the road consistently. Nothing wrong with being home, but I just really want to be out there and, just really kind of, just really be in the mix of shit,
Most
So
definitely.
I think that's really going to be the biggest thing in the next 5 years. And then, of course, owning my own, I'll go ahead and say, owning my own type of imprint, type of label, being able to support me and my family, my friends off a business that incorporates them and their talents. I'm really big on just supporting my friends, my family, because they support me. So I always want to be able to return that back to them, because I'm never a greedy person. I want to let people know, like, look, I appreciate you. Like, Jay, I appreciate you immensely for even having me on your show. So I would love to, be able to work more with you to be able to, make sure you find success and all stuff like that. But yeah, man, just really kind of having my own something, whether it be a label, business, but really just kind of being able to call something my own, being able to work with what I love, which is making music, probably shooting some videos, some films. I'm an actor as well, I love to act, just really having my hands in different pots. I'm a man of many talents, so I want to be able to, involved in a lot of stuff.
Most definitely. All right, so you guys, listen, you guys' comments, y'all comments,
They going crazy.
Y'all are going crazy right now. So y'all gotta bear with me. I gotta scroll back up and check out some of these comments. Real,
Absolutely. Shout out everybody, man.
most
Y'all
definitely.
don't like they don't know me from a can of paint, but they really kind of tuned in and tapped in. So I really appreciate you guys for Honcho, I appreciate you for having me on, man. You got some really strong, you got a nice following of people that really, are really out here,
Most
interacting. That's what I love, is people who interact. So I love you guys. I appreciate it.
Most definitely. All right, so y'all just give me time. I'm gonna read these comments. So Mary said trends. What's trendy now? I'm still jamming 2012 stuff. Okay, Shada said I think being authentic is what's next is trending. Conway Twitty is gold. Shada said yes, pushing the negative agenda is the money ticket.
Absolutely.
Mary said, do you think people should address social issues or steer clear and stick to fun and being the musical escape and being that musical escape?
Honestly, it just depends on what artist you are, and it also depends on your audience. A lot of artists don't have a solid grip on their audience, so they kind of lose that. They lose that aspect. So they don't lose it. They kind of alienate people when they don't really have a grasp on what they're trying to do. If you're an artist that enjoys, a lot of energy, putting up a lot of energy, not necessarily about what you're saying, but you want to perform and be all around, that's where I think a lot of the more simple artists are able to kind of shine, because it's not so much about what they're saying, but how they're saying it, the production, and just being able to be in front of people and entertain them. But I think on the other side of the spectrum, you need to be able to have something to talk about at the end of the day. I mean, like, I was talking with Dylan Gilbert of he's an artist. He's a singer-songwriter in Charlotte, North Carolina, but he's also the lead singer of Hectorina. And we were just talking about music, and we were just talking about how important music is now more than ever, because it's getting that message across. Hell, even Lil Baby was able to come out with a very pro-black song. Nobody would expect that from Lil Baby. But he did his thing, came out, and he did it the right way. And a lot of people took to it. And I think that pricked the ears of a lot of young kids. Like, damn, Lil Baby really talk about some real stuff that includes me. I might need to start really paying attention to what's going on. So I think you need it to take yourself to the next level. You need to be able to have something to talk about. We can talk about money, hoes, cars, clothes forever. Cool, fine, but like when you really are able to touch somebody's like soul and really like touch the nerve of like, hey man, like that part stuck in my brain, or that part really hit me in my soul, that's when you start becoming artists like Jay-Z, Nas, Drake, all the greats that people are considered great. That's why they're able to maintain that title of being great, because they have touched somebody. They've used their lyrics and their words to be able to resonate with other people. So you gotta there's nothing wrong with having the energy, with having the cool party stuff, but you have to be able to talk to somebody and really hold a conversation.
Most definitely. I agree. Communication is everything. Real quickly, I gotta give a big, super big shout out to my family that's in the building, Panda Nation. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Panda Nation, the whole gang, the whole squad. You know what I'm saying? Let me give y'all just a little synopsis real quick. I've been working with Panda Nation for a little, for a little minute now. And these guys, man, when I tell y'all, if y'all don't know about Panda Nation, y'all need to go and find out, because I'm telling you, Panda Nation really got some things going on. Big love, much success to them. Definitely being a part of Panda Nation is definitely truly a family. And brother, I'm not sure if you follow Panda Nation, but I
think I need to. It sounds like they in here thick. So shout out to Panda Nation. Absolutely.
I strongly advise you, man, to get in contact with my brother Panda and my sister Miss Panda, because there are definitely some dope energized people, man. So definitely tap in. You guys in the comments, make sure you guys tap in if you're not tapped in already. You know what I'm saying? Again, shouts out to the Panda Nation. All right, so real quick, so my next question that I had for you, man, and I gotta, and again, I hate to, in a sense, I kind of hate to continue to talk about it, but I love getting different views and different perspectives, you know what I'm saying, on certain things. But when it comes to this whole, of course, this Black Lives Matter movement, man, you being a black man, you seeing what's going on, you seeing what's transpiring, you seeing all of these, racial injustice things going on, social injustice going on. But how do you feel as a black man? How do you feel like we really need to change the trajectory of life and how we move and how we operate and how this whole racial thing can finally be put to rest. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about? I mean, a lot of people I feel like are trying to give up when we really need to be working. Like we're here. This is it. This is what we've all kind of been waiting on to really have these situations in that spotlight. Because there's no denying that there's an absolute target on an average Black person's life. Man, woman, gay, straight, doesn't matter. They're literally hunting Black people down, and it's a scary situation. But I think that's where we pick ourselves. Well, we never picked ourselves up. We stand stronger than we ever have before, because now other people are seeing, like, we have a whole other countries, chanting Black Lives Matter because they're seeing the silly shit that's happening in America. I mean, there's racism all over, but man, it's otherworldly here living in it. But as far as how we can change the trajectory, man, I've been a big proponent of owning our own, supporting our own. Everybody says buy Black, buy. I think that's such a simplistic thing to say. Your Black friend sells T-shirts, you buy a T-shirt, that's considered, buying Black. That's cool, but like, where's like where's the industrial side of that? Where are the Black warehouse owners? Where are the Black farmers? Where are the Black people who have the ability to create products, physical products? We have Black programmers, but we need like hard, we need actual physical things to, whether it be storage, whether it be having, farmland, being able to raise our own cattle and stuff like that. We should be able to have our own Black dollar. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, Black dollar. I mean, dollar that circulates solely in the Black community. You work at a Black-owned warehouse, you get your money, you buy food from a Black restaurant. You keep all that in so that you see these companies grow, and you see them be able to. There's no reason why there can't be a Black-owned Walmart.
Right.
There's no reason why there can't be Black-owned movie theaters. I mean, like, we need to worry about owning things that generate money, that generate profit, that we can continue to keep in the Black community. And it has to be like that, because that's what it's been for all the other, and it's not just white people. Black people have seemed to be the only ones that can't really get the grips on owning it, and not by our own. There are plenty of Black people that own stuff, but at the rate we need to do it to be able to combat with other races, I mean, we have to own things. We have to be able to create things. We have to be able to teach our children how to create, how to be able to put things together, build things. You use their hands not to work for people, but to work for themselves, so they can create their own products and push their own and market their own stuff, or work with Black marketers. Like, it just really, like, it just needs to be Black. All Black.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. So I mean, like, I think that's what we're working towards. I think that's the biggest thing that's going to start shifting the focus of a lot of stuff. It's not, I don't have to buy from Walmart anymore. I can buy from this big ass company that has everything that Walmart does and more, and there's more Black-owned stuff than ever. It has to be like that, because white people have done it for this whole time. Asian people have done it. All these other races, they've been passing money down through their own communities. So it's about time that we do the same thing for us, and we have to do it. If we don't start doing it now, then we never will. And unfortunately, we are behind again by no fault of our own. But we got to start taking ourselves by the reins, saying, "Hey, look, we got to own shit. Whether it be a small little storage shed or whatever it has to be, a small little patch of land. Don't sell your land off. Black people, if you own land, don't sell your land off. Don't sell grandma's house. Don't sell none of that shit, man. Keep that shit in the family. Pass that shit down to your to your kids. Make that money work for you. And by all means, I'm trying to learn how to do this myself. But these are things that I'm observing from other races, and this is why they have been able to stay successful for so long, and what we've lacked as a community and as just a race of people. It's just being able to have these things that we own, being able to build our own, and then just being able to push it out, because white people still gonna buy it too.
Right.
So that's it.
Most definitely. All right. Well, and again, you guys that's in the comments,
I appreciate all of what you guys are saying. I'm seeing everything. I'm
Absolutely.
appreciating all of that love and feedback and positivity. Keep it coming. All right, so
Please.
two other things I want to talk to you about real quickly. As it relates to, and this is going to be a topic that I think that nobody really speaks on.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you feel about the LGBT community coming into the music industry and really, working and laying the foundation and changing the landscape out here? Because you got so many people out here that are, gay and bisexual and things of that nature. But how do you feel about, just the community as a whole, tapping into the music and being art and being rappers and singers and things of that nature? How do you feel about that?
First and foremost, homosexuality's been in the music industry damn near since the beginning. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. But with that being said, I mean, Elton John's probably one of the biggest artists to ever live. He's
Right.
gay. That has almost, well, I won't say it has nothing to do with his music, but I mean it's quality music regardless. One of my favorite projects that I've ever heard is a project called it's called American Boyfriend. It's by an artist named Kevin Abstract. He's part of a group that was called Brockhampton, or it's still called Brockhampton. He's gay, right? So it's one of those, he's one of those gays where it's like almost like kind of like, okay, you as a straight black man, people would expect me to turn this weird face. Ugh, like why would he say that in a rap song? But I mean, like, it's good music, and I'm able to put any silly shit aside to be able to appreciate the good music. And honestly, like Mary said, androgynous artists, gender benders, it doesn't matter if the music is good. If you're able to put together good music, if you're a good rapper, if you're able to put together melodies well, if you're a good singer, it does not matter. You just got to appreciate the music and appreciate the creation. All that other stuff, all that other shit people worry about, man. Again, skin tone, skin color, gay, straight, man. None of that. All that shit does not matter, bro. My I'm gonna get a little deeper on that. My father gave me he bought me a book, which is basically talking about the Bhagavad Gita, which is basically the Hindu Bible. It's like the Hindu religious book. Long story short, man, I've been reading it, off of my father's, once. He's like, hey, you need to read this book. So I've been listening to it on audiobook. And honestly, man, like it's one of the biggest thing it tells you is that all this material shit you see, man, ain't none of that shit real. Ain't none of that shit, and none of that shit is here to stop you from you doing you and being the best you can be. It's, if anything, it's just deterring you from, being able to appreciate life for what it is in this moment, so yeah, man. As far as the LGBTQ community doing music, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, man. There, gay people, straight gay people have been making incredible music since the beginning of time. They'll continue to make incredible music just like everybody else who makes good music. So absolutely.
Most definitely. All right. So my next question, when it comes to women, man, because we've had and I mean so many women, man, that have changed the game in this hip hop and R&B world. But what I want to know from you is, how do you feel about the women, being in this male dominated arena and really taking over and breaking those glass ceilings and really showing the world that, listen, we can put out music just like the men can. So real quickly, if you can, give us just a real quick response on how do you feel about the trajectory of women coming into the game and really, going out there and going above and beyond.
Absolutely, I love it, man. All these women coming out here doing their thing. Granted, a lot of people are taken aback from the content. Understandable, but it doesn't matter. Niggas been rapping about the same shit anyway. So it's just really awesome to see all these women really getting their the accolades, getting respect like they should be, because they're talented women. Whether it be Rhapsody, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Saweetie, all these women that are coming out now are doing their own thing, carving their own lane, and being able to provide for them and their families without having to be up under other niggas, if that makes sense. So, you know, at least to me, I would think that that's something that's really respectable and commendable when these women are able to come out there and do their own thing without having to lean on other niggas to do it for them. So, absolutely.
Most definitely. Well, man, listen, I definitely can keep this conversation going,
I would
man.
love to, man.
You know, because like I said, we can go on all day. But like I said, I know my time is drawing near. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely, man, 1000%. I definitely appreciate you, man, for, you know, taking the opportunity to come on here and just really speak candidly and speak so open and honestly, man, about this industry and about your life and things of that nature. I have truly I just wish they talked about anything other than that. Right, Miss Panda.
See,
But
I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy.
you know how your dad was your dad was an advanced, so his open heart is inspirational. Good show. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, like I said, I definitely again 1,000 times over, I appreciate you. I see what you're doing. Keep applying pressure. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. I salute everybody that came in and showed love, that jumped in on this conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to, you know, and here's the thing, you guys, and I tell you guys this all the time. I'm honored to be able to bring this platform to y'all, because this gives other people on Instagram, on social media, a chance to really get into the heads and into the minds of other artists and seeing how they move and how they operate. And the more that we bring this together and the more we learn, you guys, I'm telling you, you're going to continue to get more and more inspired. And this is why I do it. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I support you guys. And I definitely, like I said, I definitely can't wait to bring you back, bro. I will be bringing you back for an encore. You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, definitely make sure you tap in with Tanda Nation. I said Tanda Nation. Make sure you tap in with Panda Nation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really, you know, so we really are a dope family all around. We got some really dope stuff coming. You know, I got some stuff that I'm doing with Panda Nation aside from, you know what I'm saying, what they got going on. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And brother, let us know what we could be on the lookout for. And real quickly, also, once you let us know what to be on the lookout for, let us know where we can follow you at and tap in with you at, so that way we can stay locked in with you.
Got you. I'm gonna try to do it quick because it looks like we're about to run out of time. I don't want to run out of time. First and foremost, everybody, my name is Tony Peter Phaze Gawd, or Phaze Gawd, PhazeGawd. I'm telling you guys, look around here where it on the pin and everything like that. Look at the name, Phaze Gawd. Google it. I know that sounds like a dickhead thing to say, but like if you Google it, you'll find everything. I just released my brand new project, Ayo Phaze Gawd, last Friday, doing crazy numbers. People are loving it. I need the Panda Nation. If you're really in here, I need you guys to go ahead and find Ayo Phaze Gawd on all streaming platforms. Somebody was asking if it was on Spotify. Yes, it's on Spotify. Again, if you Google it, you will find it. It is everywhere. Please go run that up. I need them streams so I can quit my job and do rapping full time and all that cool stuff. So again, you guys can find me on Facebook, Phaze Gawd, Instagram, Phaze Gawd 704, Twitter, Phaze Gawd. Check out my website, Praise Phaze Gawd. If you want to check out all the music, again, my guys, it's all on everything. You know, fucking Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. You'll find me on it all, man. I just need y'all to tap in with me. And then if anything, you guys should follow me. I follow back. I'm all about communicating and conversations like this, Honcho. So again, man, I appreciate you so much for having me on here. I appreciate the Panda Nation that has showed out. I appreciate everybody that's in here and tuned in. I saw a couple of my friends in here. Shout out Edgy Design. Shout out Kyle. Shout out all my people that tapped in, man. I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all so much.
Most definitely. And like I said, you guys, that does it for my time. This has been the Independent Scene episode 118. You are now tuned in to the latest hottest show on Instagram Live. That is, again, the Independent Scene with your boy, yours truly, Honcho J23. I salute to you guys. I support you guys. And like I said, stay tuned in tomorrow for another episode 119. I'll be talking with my boy, Johnny Muslin. So make sure you guys tap in. All right? This has been my time. Let's get it. Honcho J and the one and only Phaze Gawd. Let's get it.
Love guys.
Love.